I'm right.
Well, it's pretty exciting to be there again. Tell us what the mood is amongst the troops.
Yeah, it's great to be involved in grand final week again. The boys are up and about, as you'd expect. Pretty happy with the game on Saturday. After the game, went straight back to recovery and caught up with all the Springbank boys that were doing their recovery as well after their game. So spoke with those blokes, so happy, and just our blokes sat back and seen the euphoria on the blokes, the Springbank boys after their flag. Just brought back memories last year, but we got back to Sunday morning recovery again, back on the job about to play Darley this week.
Now, obviously, things have changed pretty significantly from that first final where you copped a bit of a shellacking and you're able to turn that around. So what's changed across the course of the last few weeks?
Just the players' mindset. Like we got a shellacking, as you said, and 11 goal hiding, and we sat back and just went through the game, things we could improve on our AFIs, but also things we've done well during the year. It hasn't been our most consistent year, although we finished second, but things we can improve on and get the players' mindsets right straight away about, look, we can get over the line. So the fitness hasn't changed, the speed of the game hasn't changed, we haven't become better kicks or better players. Just the players' mindset, getting focused back onto what we've done really well and what we can do well. We proved a couple of years ago, after loss in the finals, we can come back and rebound pretty well, and we did that really well against Lake Winnery and then final with Redan last week.
So from your perspective, personally, what can you do to make sure the boys do have their heads in the right place for this week and are really switched on given the inconsistency that's played this season?
I think you can see we've turned a corner in the last 3 or 4 weeks with that. It's that time of year we get serious. We're playing for sheep stations now. It's the real time, and the boys, to their credit, it's a couple of years in a row we've been involved now. This week, the boys are really focused, and honestly, we sit back and I'll talk about a couple of matchups, a couple of things to look at from Darley, bits and pieces. But the boys are on their own show now. They're a really player-driven group, and you can sense that the last couple of weeks when we got rolled. And Simon beside me here and a couple of boys sat there in the leadership group and had a bit of a chat with the players about the coaching staff and turned a corner.
And Derek kicked 7 against them last time when you had that win. Clearly, he was a focal point of foot. Multi-pronged attack, we talked about it across the last couple of years. How do you perceive structuring up?
Yeah, Des has had a really good year till he got injured, and we have a multi-pronged attack, which you need the days they've got having one full forward. And Darley have the same with their 3-pronged attack as well. And it just depends how matchups go, depends on where we're playing against with the wind, where he sits. He's high, is he back deep, but he's been a very good player. He's kicked some goals against Darley. But we require all the forwards participating in goal. We require midfield goals and a whole team playing a role. Des doesn't get a kick, So Des is on him some very good work further up the field, and he gets a result of that good work. So that's what we're hoping for.
And having had that win against them during the course of the season, back in round 6, obviously that gives you perhaps a slight edge in some people's minds, or is that too far too long ago?
It was miles ago. We've tinkered with our team, then players and team styles of play 3 or 4 times since it was miles away. We got the win, but I think the score was even. Actually, we might have been 24 points up half time. Score was even through the third quarter. Actually, Darley at the front twice. We're lucky to get our way back. Lyons and Kennedy and those blokes and Pagey, destroyed us in the second half of that game, and we're lucky to hang on. But it's a long, long time ago.
How does it compare to the previous couple of years, Robbie, in terms of the lead up throughout the week? Is there much different, or is it the same thing?
It's got to be the same, mate. As a coaching staff, we've got to keep it the same. We don't, there's no ribbons in the rooms, the balloons, even grand, nothing like that. We've got to stick to the same, and it's our structures and our pre-game and all the stuff we do got us where we are. It has to stay the same. We don't change it too much. It's grand final. It's a big day, but we just control what we can control, and that's all internal for our group.
What would it mean? I think it's been almost 20 years since the side's gone 3 in a row. How big would it be? What does it mean to the club if it was to happen?
It would be really big for the club. The club would be wrapped. They won one probably 3 in a row before. I think the last one was Sunbury. Back in the day, Sunbury actually won 4 in a row and won the Riddle League as well. But for the players, though, the leagues give out 22 medals every year, so we're only focused on this season. Instead of the start of the year, we just won back-to-back. The playing group starts worrying about winning 3 in a row, we're going to fail miserably. So it's just focus on this year, what we can do, qualify as high as you can, play the best footy you can, blokes in different roles, and see how far we go. We qualify the weekend for an opportunity. We're only worried about this weekend. What's happened previously doesn't have any effect on the game at all.
Yeah. Remember the grand final a couple of years ago against Sunbury, and sort of just being there, it sensed the crowd was on the Sunbury side. Again, you've got an Eastern team. What are your thoughts there? Does that make any difference?
Oh, look at that. Like Sunbury's, Darley have a huge supporter base, and I imagine I'll hear them from all over the ground. But unless they jump the fence and touch the footy and get a kick, it ain't going to matter. So it's the 22 blokes on the ground and both coaching boxes. But I admire their footy club and the way they've gone about. It's fantastic, you know what I mean. Roddy's doing a great job there. But what happens out in the ground now, you know what I mean? And the crowd doesn't support us. Well, you know, North's had that problem even for I was there. I used to hate North before I got there, you know what I mean? And they've just been a successful club, and you cop it for that. There's the same with Darley. You know, Darley are flying, you know, the last couple of years, and they've copped it as well. It's just the way it is, you know. The only way you want it is to have the two teams, and maybe the dislike teams playing off playing off against each other. It's great.
Yeah. Selection-wise, obviously you've lost Mitch from last week. Who might be coming in for you?
There's a few. You know, we look at, or injury-wise straight away, Sam Biel's an option. Jarrod Graham had a suspension last week. He can come back from the calculations. Sam Hooper missed last week as well, with sore hands. But there's, you know, looking at Darley's team, you know, their lack of a second ruckman, genuine ruckman. Do we bring in James Cusack to try and stretch him? It's an option there as well for us. But, you know, we train in, you know, tomorrow there's still a lot of order on the bridge and selection to get through yet. We have a quick meeting Tuesday night. But look, all the boys put their hands up. And we'll sit down again tomorrow night and go through it before training and look how we shape up.
Yeah. Does it just look like it's Mitch missing out at this stage, or
in
terms of injuries?
Yeah, injuries only Mitch.
Yeah.
Yep. Unless, you know, Sam Bell's got a, you know, he missed with a slight hamstring strain a couple of weeks ago, so he's got to prove he's been running the house down. But he's still got to, you know, tempo the game late in the third quarter, last quarter, got to prove that he's right. So, you know, he could come into calculations. You know, he probably should. He's a very good player for us. Played 16 games, but we want to make sure when we play that everyone's above board and make sure they can get through 4 quarters of footy of tense footy.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Tom? Such an exciting opportunity for you. How hungry is the list, given the fact that, you know, they've achieved it, and you, from a playing group, what's your perception there?
I suppose further to what Robbie said, it's, you know, we don't worry about the past results. It's a new year. We work too hard within, you know, a 12-month period, just to worry about, you know, what's gone on in the past. So the hunger amongst the group's there. You know, it's the strongest it's been probably the last few weeks. I think you know, the players have really driven that hunger. You know, we've got a few young blokes on the side. SBL, as Robbie said, there's a chance to come back in. Sam Bromley Lynch, and he's, you know, he obviously missed out last year, so. No, the hunger is definitely there. Tuesday night, last night was really good training. There's a lot of excitement and energy and a good buzz around the group. So no, we're really looking forward to getting out there on Saturday.
Whilst we discussed perhaps the irrelevance of the round 6 game, at the same time we would have taken some lessons out of that game in terms of your understanding about how Darley go about it. What did you learn? What have you been talking about Darley's game that is going to give you the edge on Saturday? Yeah,
definitely. They've got you know, they're top 5 or 6 footballers, probably, you know, some of the best footballers in the league, as strong as anyone's. And like Robbie said, in that second half, their midfielders sort of got on top with their spread and their run and carry. So it's definitely an area that we're aware of, and we'll be trying hard to sort of limit their prime movers on Saturday.
The win over Redan, obviously the big turnaround as we discussed. Yeah, clearly that just gives you guys an extra lift. Surely the mood must have been pretty ecstatic. Yeah,
it was. I think the week before against Lakers was a turning point. We had a really encouraging win there, and then we took that in again last week against Redan and performed well again. And yeah, you know, the self-belief and the confidence amongst the group's definitely grown. And I guess, you know, the last 2 weeks is probably the best footy we've played for the year, and to be doing it at this end of the season is obviously encouraging to say that.
Do you sense any personal pressure given your role as captain of the side?
I'm pretty fortunate. I've sort of taken over the captaincy, still with, you know, your likes of Jason McNamara, Aidan George, Jarrod Edwards are still in the side, and we've got a really strong leadership group. So there's always those guys to sort of, you know, bounce ideas off or go to for advice. So you know we've got 22 leaders out there Saturday, so it makes my job a lot easier.
Yeah, so I was going to ask you about that actually, because when I talked to the start of the year, you've sort of just taken on the rivals after maybe 1 or 2 rounds or something. How have you found the year, and I suppose the build-up for this week being captain as opposed to, I suppose, just one of the other players?
Yeah, I've really enjoyed it. You know, throughout the year, it's had its different challenges, I suppose, and the responsibilities that go with it. But you know, I've probably grown as a leader throughout the 12 months. You know, as I said just before the Wes, with those other senior guys on the side, it's been really handy. Learning different tricks off them and different ideas and way to handle different situations. Obviously, probably wasn't as smooth a season as we've had in the past, so we've had those challenges there. But I've enjoyed being able to, you know, lead the boys out each Saturday, and for one final time on Saturday again.
Yeah, obviously you've been there a couple of times yourselves. Half your team has been there at least one or 2 times. How much of an advantage do you think that is coming into Saturday against a team that hasn't been there for so long?
It's definitely an advantage. I guess the preparation side of things. It just helps you knowing what to expect in the lead up, and then also on the day itself. I guess it's invaluable that having a couple of grand finals in the last 2 years and being successful on the day. So yeah, it just definitely helps in the build up for sure.
Too easy.
Thank you.
Mate.
No worries.
All right. Well, as you've heard the North City boys talk about their past experiences, obviously this is a different one for you guys. You were there back in 2008 and the boys didn't finish the way you would have liked. How do you shape your list? How do you motivate your list, knowing that you're perhaps lacking in a little bit of experience with regard to the big stage?
Oh, look, in the way of lacking in experience, I think we've got 8 or 9 guys who will play on, so maybe even more that have played in grand finals and have got premiership experience. So in the way of lacking in experience, they may lack experience in this competition, but we've had guys play premierships at VFL level. Quite a few of those guys. Obviously, Shane O'Bree's had the experience of playing in 2 AFL grand finals. So for lack of experience, I wouldn't say that the side lacks too much experience. We do have probably some young, probably 4 or 5 young guys who haven't played a lot of finals experience, but it's up to our leaders and those guys who have had that experience elsewhere at higher levels to pass it down to the younger blokes and give them a good guidance on what to expect come Saturday. So
yeah, on the pro side, obviously you've claimed some really big scalps in the finals, and you're one of the form teams of the competition. Well, obviously, this must give you enormous confidence heading into the big one.
yeah, look, definitely. I think Muddy would be the same to admit it. Both sides probably haven't played their best footy during the year. We probably hit that last round of the year against Redan, probably the best footy we've played. And these boys have come in some really good form the last couple of weeks. So it's probably, I'm really excited for the weekend's game. I think everyone should be. Probably the 2 sides of the competition have hit really good form at the right time of the year, and it's just going to be an exciting game.
So, claiming that scalp against Redan in the big one there, the second semi, what was it that really, I suppose, gave you the edge in that particular game? Because they're a formidable lineup and you cleaned them up.
Yeah, look, definitely. I think we got a lot of confidence out of being able to knock them off in the last game of the year, and I think the guys just gained a massive amount of belief and that in the group, and were able to take that into Sunbury in that first semi, and then follow that up with Redan in that second semi. And I think just our pressure around the footy and not able to give them space. They're a very good side. You allow them to get on the outside, and they spread really well, and they make it really hard to defend if you give them first use of the footy. And, our midfield is obviously a strength. It's no secret, and our guys really got on top of Redan early and set us up well. So it was good.
And as we've already discussed, North City's got quite a potent forward structure. You're obviously going to be putting a fair bit of time and preparation into that.
Yeah, look, definitely. I think it's one of their strengths. We've put a lot of work into that. It's no secret that Derek likes to get a hold of us when he plays Redan, but we're not. Plays Redan, plays us, but we're not the only side that he does that. He's a quality player, probably the best forward in the competition. And our defence during the home and away season was probably our shaky side of the team, and it's something that we focused on that last round of the year, and big focus for us going to the finals was our defensive pressure, and it's something we're going to be relying on come Saturday. And they have a formidable forward line, but if we can get on top in the middle of the ground, I think that's where it's going to be. One loss in the middle. We can control the centre stoppages and that first possession. It's going to limit the side of the footy going down to Derek and Darley and these sort of guys, Shawnee Lyle, these guys. If we can slow that footy going forward, it's going to be a lot easier to defend.
Thank you.
Tuddy, how many times that 08 grand final, how many times have you sort of relived that in your head?
Have I relived it?
Yeah.
Oh, look, I was there, and I think about it probably once a week since it happened, since 2008. That's the reality of it. It's a message I've been passing on to my guys. You don't know when the opportunity is going to come around to be able to. It's just all we've done at the moment is create ourselves an opportunity to give ourselves a premiership. It's what we all play for. And unfortunately, 2008 we weren't good enough to get the job done. And anyone who's been in that situation, and what happened, it's what you play footy for. When it goes the way it did, mate, I relive it a lot of the times. It's lucky to to myself, and I think Darren Leonard's the only one who's still standing from the 2008 grand final. So.
How many times have you talked to him about it? Is it something you bring up often, or
nah, the only time I spoke about it to him was this week.
Yeah.
That's the only time Darren and I have brought up about that. We're the last two guys left in it.
Yeah. What was the message there?
Oh, it's more a bit of humour, really. It was probably just a bit of a giggle and a chuckle to each other, and didn't realise that from 2008 we're the only two guys, left in it.
Yeah.
So, which I think makes it more relevant than what everyone keeps going on about, because there's only two guys left from that side, and what's going on nearly 8 years ago now. So it's completely different side, completely different football club to what it was back then.
Selection-wise, I can't recall, you had too many memories a couple of weeks ago, and obviously you got Shane coming back, I presume, this week, so it's a tough call to make tomorrow night a selection, is it?
Yeah, definitely a tough call. Shane will come back in, he's available to play now, too longer out, and his commitments down there are no longer for this year, so he'll be definitely one that'll come in. We had a good discussion with the other coaches on the Sunday after we knew who we were playing, match it up against. So we had a good discussion on Sunday and went through a few things. And we had a good session last night, and a couple of guys put their hands up who were going to be sort of borderline thereabouts. So we'll have another discussion probably tonight and tomorrow as well, and make the call on that. But yeah, unfortunately, it's footy, and 23 or 24 doesn't go into 22.
Yeah. Is the playing group comfortable with it, I suppose? Like, I know he's been training pretty much 2 nights a week, hasn't he, for the last month or so. They're pretty comfortable with somebody coming in who hasn't who's only played sort of 5 or 6 games throughout the year.
Yeah. No, look, definitely. I mean, you're probably better off to ask Shane that as well. But I mean, the guys who know Shane and who are around the club and see what he puts in, he's buying at the football club. He doesn't just come and train and go. He's there. He puts in time with the kids. He hangs around. He helps out as much as he can. When he can train, he trains. He's trained at nights when he hasn't played that week. So he's well fully understood his commitments before the year, and we're open and transparent with that with the group and everyone brought into that, and just the way he's brought into the club and things like that. Yeah, the boys, they love having him around. So there's definitely no issue there.
Too easy. Thanks, mate.
All right, mate. Cheers.
Thanks. And what do you need to do differently from the round 6 clash from your perspective?
I think they're two completely different sides. You'll find not only the personnel on our side, but the positional changes we've got. I don't think you can read much into that game. Like we've been speaking about, we're in the best form we've been all year, and we're all excited and we're pretty confident going into Saturday.
You've obviously had a close look at North Sydney across the course of the finals, and what have you assessed them in terms of what you need to do to gain the edge?
We know they've been the best side in the competition the last couple of years. Watching them against Redan, they're a real burst side. When they're up and about, they score very quickly with the potent forward line in their midfield. So we're just going to stay switched on all to 100% of the time, and that comes from our leaders, which we think we have a good bunch. And if we can stop that and just be competitive for 100% of the game, I think we're confident we can come home with a win.
Rob talked about potentially stretching you guys in the big man department. How do you cover that?
Yeah, we've got Marty, our ruckman, and then we'll have a couple of others float through the ruck. It's not ideal, but it has worked for us against some of the better sides. It can be a bit of a weapon around the ground. Might throw a bit of height in the ruck contest, but to win that crucial ball around the ground, it's been really beneficial for us. So.
And in terms of reasonably good weather forecast, and the ground looks like it's going to be pretty good, does that give you guys an edge over North City, or do you just see that as balancing the ledger?
Yeah, I think it's just balance. Great weather is beautiful, can't wait for it, but I don't think it benefits either side. Both sides have got a good forward line, good midfield, so should be even.
And what's the Darley approach been to the grand final? Is it trying to keep a lid on things, or is it just embracing the moment and everybody enjoying the fact that it's a celebration of the culmination of the season?
Yeah, well, we're pretty lucky we had the week off, so I know a few of the young boys and a lot of us, we were excited after the win. We've had a long time to think about it, but like Tuddy was saying, we do have had a lot of boys that have had grand final experience, and you just got to keep the same structure, the same process. So we've kept a lid on it, done the same process, and yeah, just looking forward to it. But we are excited, so it's been a while. Thanks.
Shane, what's the build-up been like around the town, and could you describe, I suppose, the general atmosphere or even down at training during the week? The last 2 weeks, how's it been for you guys?
Yeah, it's exciting. Like, it's a good place to be around at the moment. A lot of people coming to training sessions. The support around town, there's posters and that up, and you find out how much it means to the town. Not only just the Darley Footy Club, but all the past players. A lot of friends and family, a lot of backslappers coming out of the woodworks. But it's all part of the experience, and yeah, I'm enjoying it at the moment.
Even like the Backers Marsh guys, do you feel they're sort of behind you as well, or is there still that bit of...
Nah, they'll be supporting our city on the weekends, 100%. So.
What is it like playing with someone like Shane O'Brien during the year, but then again on Saturday, knowing what he's been on the bigger stage, you must know that must give you a fair bit of confidence to be able to feed off him a fair bit.
Yeah, definitely. Like, we are lucky to have Shane come down. I think he's played 5 or 6 games, and like Tuddy was saying, the training sessions he comes to, the recovery sessions, just so good for the young boys to just feed off him, feed off the experience. We're pretty lucky coaches at AFL level, so it is like having another coach out there. It's just the leadership, it's so crucial for us, and we're pretty lucky.
Yeah. Have you played in a grand final or a flag before?
No, I haven't. This will be my first.
Right, so what would that mean to you? Obviously, it's pretty massive, but how could you describe it?
Yeah, special. Like, I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, it's dreaming one to win one, and hopefully get the job done this Saturday. So.
Yeah. Have you come along previous years to BFNL grand finals, or?
Yeah, I've come to one, and then I've been to 4 or 5 Bendigo League grand finals to go watch, and just the crowd, the atmosphere. I've always wanted to be part of one, and I get the chance this year, which I'm stoked about. So.
Very good. Best of luck, mate.
Thanks, mate.
Cheers. Thanks, boys.
Thanks, guys. Much appreciated.
You're not done.